This module is called Charrette Preparation Tools in Depth. We're going to go into more detail about the charrette preparation tools that we covered very lightly in the first module. We're going to do it now because this instruction will prepare you for the next exercises. The first topic of charrette preparation tools that we'll cover here is subphase 1.2, stakeholder involvement. Here again is our diagram showing that in our stakeholder outreach we understand that there are really three different levels going on. That there are inevitably people who are primary stakeholders who are involved more than secondary stakeholders who are involved more than general stakeholders. But the real trick to this is getting them to be involved all at key decision-making points. Here are some keys to successful public participation. The main thing is that there's a commitment from leadership to collaboration and relationship building, and from that, a commitment to the resources. As you're going to see in the following slides, it takes a lot of resources to do good public participation. You want to be able to use people in your process who have local on-the-ground knowledge, who can dig deep into the community. It's also really key to engage the community before starting design. This is key to the NCI approach. We value listening to people first before we begin design. And then in public participation, working at three levels: one-on-one with people, small group meetings, and large community-wide meetings. Effective stakeholder outreach and engagement requires the use of many different techniques kind of at the same time. So here we have some traditional techniques: phone calls, emails, mailings, newsletters, and then the non-traditional, newer techniques, web-based, social media, and so forth. And then there's traditional interviews. I'm going to talk about those in a minute. And then the engagement. It's very important when working in communities to oftentimes go to people on their own turf. Here's an example of what's called a stoop survey, where some staff and students went out and talked to people on their stoops. Just walked down the street, interviewed them, let them know what was happening on the charrette, engaging them on their own terms. Meetings at churches, local organizations, neighborhood meetings, going out to people on their own turf. And again, this takes resources. It takes commitment to resources to do this. I'm going to talk a moment about advisory committees, or as I like to call them, working groups. Many projects have committees that are formed oftentimes by the staff or politicians, bringing together, honestly, sometimes the usual suspects to be on a committee to advise the project. That's a good start. What's important, though, is that for a committee to be really effective, that they do represent a cross-section of the community viewpoints. Because you want them to be champions and connect with the community in a very broad way. Now, these people are advisory. They shouldn't vote on anything, but they should have advisory power to really give their advice as community members, bring their viewpoint to the project. They should also agree to become very well educated on the project issues through workshops, through meetings, and very importantly, committed to spreading the word, to coming to the meetings themselves and getting their friends and neighbors to come to the meetings. Constructed properly, this working group can be really important champions to the community. They form a group of people who are well informed on the more intricacies of the project and can speak to their neighbors and friends about that. They can be very important champions going forward. Here's a very effective method of interviews for a project that occurs maybe months ahead of the charrette. I would do this very early in the project. We're providing you with a sheet of instructions on how to conduct these interviews. But basically, the idea is to bring together small groups of people with the same similar viewpoints, like, for instance, downtown business leaders, faith-based leaders, um, environmental group leaders, people who have similar viewpoints brought together in short interviews conducted by, very importantly, consultants without the staff in the room. We want to provide an environment for people to feel comfortable to speak candidly about their viewpoint on the project. And part of that is not taking names, telling them that you're not going to write their names down, but you will write their comments down. You can interview up to 90 people in a day through this process that we're giving you. The results of this can be, first of all, you can get more people interested and engaged. A lot of these people may not normally come to public planning projects, but they might come to a short interview. Once you got them, you deliver a very professionally run interview where they feel like they've been listened to, and they might come back and they might tell their friends. But very importantly, this is an opportunity to find out what's really going on in the community. Staff doesn't always know everything that's going on the street. This is a way for the consultants to find out the real story of what's going on and to help the project team then put together the right type of outreach process, the right type of educational process, the right kind of process to leverage the dynamics of the community.